Hello and welcome to Geeks of the Round Dexter discussion. This is episode 711. Do you see what I see? We'll be talking about that particular episode and maybe a little bit on 710 because we ended up skipping an episode last week due to the Hangouts being down last Monday. But mostly we're going to deal with episode 710. My name is Matt. I'll be your host, Matt Moore. And I'm here with Todd Grundle. How are you doing, Todd?
I am doing well, sleepy but well.
Deano is not joining us today because of the fact that he just got his computer, and I don't know if he's able to catch up with Dexter. He just got his computer set up, so he won't be joining us. And David is celebrating his birthday today, so happy birthday, David. I don't know if you're watching.
Happy birthday.
So cool. It'll probably just be the two of us, though we might have people join us later. First off, I want to talk about Hector Estrada. Basically, the episode went like this. Dexter ended up attending a probation hearing where Hector Estrada, which was one of the people that killed his mother, ended up getting free on bail, and the episode had him following Hector and eventually putting Hector on his table. And did you see the trap coming, Todd?
No, I didn't. It was one of the things this season, or the last few seasons, that have caught me really off guard.
Basically, what had happened was the whole thing was a trap set up by La Huerta, because she's convinced that that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher, and so she put Hector Estrada back on the street as a way to trap Dexter and basically using Hector as bait, and which worked, but she didn't quite catch him.
Let me ask you, do you think Matthews knows? Like, do you think Matthews is being coy? That's his name, right? The guy from Unhappy Ever After? Yeah. Do you think he's being, like, coy with that? That's how I know him, man. You don't forget a guy with talking to his bunny. But who's also a president of 24. But, yeah, do you think he knows that Dexter's the Bay Harbor Butcher and is playing La Huerta and being coy?
No, I think that he's pretty biased towards Dexter. I think that he thinks that he's playing it exactly how he looks to be playing it. I think he knows what. I think he believes that what Dexter is saying is true. You've known me all my life, that sort of thing. But La Huerta definitely knows by this point. I mean, there's no doubt in her mind anymore.
She's not in love with Dexter anymore, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not. No, they didn't really show that in the first season, like I thought they would. They showed that more in the books. Her having a crush on Dexter, but
they hinted on it a little bit. Like they did make a few in the first few episodes.
And so I don't know. That's kind of interesting. Another plot that we had was, of course, Hannah. Hannah basically saying "I love you" to Dexter twice. Once in the last episode, once in this episode.
Perfect line, by the way.
What's that?
His response was perfect, by the way.
I think "I love you too" was last episode, and this episode he said "I love you too," but you couldn't quite believe it. It's and then did you happen to notice? Do you remember the picture he took with Santa?
Yes.
And Harrison, did you notice that he pushed her out?
Out of a picture, yes.
Her, but yeah, it was Jamie ended up in the picture, but she didn't, which I found kind of interesting. So that definitely kind of speaks to whether or not he cares for her that much. I have to admit that he did seem happy, but and looking towards his future which was the entire theme of this particular episode. But I don't know, like he doesn't seem to have cared for her as much as he said he did.
I don't know. I think he really was in love. Are we at wild speculations yet, or?
Go for it. Go ahead. I've got 3 theories right now.
I think it was Deborah. I don't even think it was Hannah who poisoned Deborah or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, that's actually one of my theories. We had the whole storyline where Deborah ends up getting poisoned by her own. It's not Xanax, but it's another
anti-anxiety,
something like that. Yeah, anti-anxiety medicine. And the popular theory online is that Deborah poisoned herself to split Dexter and Hannah up. And I kind of like that theory because of the fact that it would be very devious of Deborah, and Hannah has not messed up ever before.
I like it.
Sorry, I have competing theories. Is while that theory works, that it would be very devious of Deborah and it would separate the two of them. I think that it might not be the truth because of the fact that Hannah has never messed up before. A competing theory is that it is Hannah's friend from the school. The one that has I forgot her name.
I forget too. It was with an A, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the one who watched Hannah kill the counselor.
The junkie.
The junkie. The junkie could have done it.
I don't know if she has the skill.
Well, that's just it. Is she didn't succeed? So pretty much anybody has the skill to not succeed.
That's a good point.
But while I like the theory that Deborah did it herself, I like it in theory. I don't believe that it's true because of the fact that she then would have caused herself to get into a car accident. And that's not really something that you stage.
She could have controlled. She could have just drove into that tree like a stunt driver. She talks like a truck driver. Why not drive like a stunt driver?
Was it just into a tree? Because it looked like the car got flattened.
I remember. I think down a bank she went.
Yeah. Like that seems to me like it's not something you can really stage because you don't know that you're going to get out of that, especially in a convertible. Like I would not want to be in a car crash in a convertible.
Yeah, I didn't consider
that. So here are my theories. One is the theory that we've been working with already, which is that Dexter will be on the run all of next season, and they kind of hinted at that in the preview.
Yeah.
And that Hannah and Deborah are one of them is going to end up killing the other. More than likely Hannah killing Deborah. And if that happens, Deborah might be the new Harry, which would be kind of cool. Like the new ghost haunting Dexter.
Yeah, but for one more season, you think like a new element like that would be as fun?
I think it would be. I heard another theory that has someone killing Dexter, Hannah killing Dexter, and Deborah ended up going after Hannah, where Dexter is Deborah's new ghost.
That's interesting, but I don't see that one. That would piss too many people off, I think.
That would piss a lot of people off. And of course, my third theory is that Hannah's friend did it. I already mentioned that. Now, third theory is that Quinn will be will be the one who's hunting Dexter. That Quinn will be in charge of that investigation.
That's interesting. I don't know. Speaking of the cops, though, I do have a theory about one of them. I think this is Angel's last episode next time around.
You think so?
Yeah, because he's happy. I mean, and it technically is a horror. Which, by the way, I had a point I wanted to say before. Oh no, that wasn't here. I was talking about Dexter at another place about people hate Jennifer Carpenter and wonder why she was cast. A lot of people do. That from what I hear or read, and because she's from a horror, I think.
Yeah, because before this, she had done a lot of teeny bopper things, like I can't think of what they are, but movies like Heathers and things like that.
Oh, Heathers is great. Did she do the Exorcism movie before Dexter or during?
I think during the second season.
But back to the point, I do think Angel. I think he's gone tomorrow next week because he's happy. He wants to quit. It's kind of a typical horror trap, and so let's hope they don't do it, I guess. But I mean, someone's got to go. Someone's got to die for the show to maintain that reader level.
Yeah. And but the thing is we, or at least I had thought that it would be Quinn that would die, and I figured that George would kill him, but instead he ended up killing George. That happened last episode. Sorry, we didn't get to talk about that last episode. But he ended up killing George, and I was thinking about it, and I was wondering, why did they do a Quinn storyline this season at all? Because it had almost nothing to do with the main storyline at all.
Or you could say it too conveniently tied into the main storyline. Because, I mean, they both have, like, these Kashka dealings going on. Dexter and Quinn are, like, two boats sailing by in the Ukrainian night.
Exactly. Is that if it is... that it could be setting Quinn up to be the big bad for next season, which is why I think Quinn's going to be hunting Dexter.
I always see Quinn on Dexter's side. That's how I've always personally seen it. I see him joining forth. Maybe they're setting him up now as like he's got his dirty dark shades, so he might convert to Dexter's team.
Oh, I can't see that happening. I can't see.
You don't want it to happen, right? You guys hate him, right?
Yeah, pretty much. No, I can't see him going any darker than he's already gone. But unless it's... I think my current theory, this is my current theory for next season, is that we're going to end up having Dexter on the run, which we've already seen him get arrested, so he'd have to be released at some point somehow. Yeah, exactly, or escaped. We have Dexter on the run, still having to do what he does, which is kill bad guys. And he's being hunted by Quinn, who this entire time is like, I knew something was wrong with him, because you remember last season, or 2 seasons ago, he was trying to figure out what was wrong with Dexter too. Not as much as Stokes was, but
he hired RoboCop.
Yeah, exactly. He hired the guy to follow him in the whole 9 yards. So now I see Quinn chasing after him, using not so legal ways to chase after him, because that's the thing, is the cops always have these rules that they have to follow. Quinn doesn't have to follow those rules, or at least he doesn't have to in a narrative style. He has to in the storyline style, and I'm sure it'll become inconvenient when the writers want it to be inconvenient. But narratively, he doesn't have to follow the rules.
And Deborah is entering that category too, now that she has compromised herself.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is now we have Yvonne Strakowski, or however you pronounce her last name, who plays Hannah. She has been a special guest star this entire time. I think next week is going to be her last episode. I think that something's going to happen to her, whether she goes to jail for the rest of her life or if she dies. But I think she's gone.
I have an issue with what happened with Hannah. I don't think that was well thought out, which probably kind of proves against my theory that Deborah did Deborah. Once she goes in, what's to stop her from talking about Dexter, especially now that Dexter's betrayed her? You know?
Yeah. Which is
especially if she didn't do it, you know, which would make it really, like, if Deborah did it, it would make it really absurd. So I actually hope I'm really wrong about that.
Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. It's whether or not Hannah did it. The internet is convinced that Deborah poisoned herself. I mean, if you
so
go,
I'm not a minority.
No. They're convinced that Deborah did it herself. I am convinced that there is a third option. That she didn't do it, and that Deborah didn't do it, and Hannah didn't do it, because
you think it was
Hannah. Yeah, well, it could have been her. It could have been something else.
You might be right, because why would they bring, like, they've already mentioned her. They didn't necessarily have to show her more than once, and they did show her, what, 2 or 3 times at this point. So
well, they talked about her a lot, but they only showed her the one time.
No, twice. When Deborah visited her, and then Hannah.
Oh yeah, you're right. But yeah, it's I forgot what I was going to say.
You're saying the third option.
Oh yeah, there might be something else going on that we just don't know about. But the thing is Hannah has never screwed up, and Hannah has never tried to poison in such a way. If Hannah really wanted Deborah dead, Deborah would be dead.
That's true.
I mean, it's just one of those things. And Deborah would be dead from a heart attack. And Dexter would be pissed off, and so, I don't know. But, last thing I wanted to talk about was Dokes. Did you happen to see the preview for next week's episode?
Oh, yeah.
The episode next week is going to be called Surprise Motherfucker. And in the preview, we have seen Dokes. And so my question is do you think Dokes is somehow alive?
I'm glad you asked, because I was going to come in here tonight with the same question for you. I hope. I don't know. Did we see him burn?
We didn't see him burn. We saw the room he was in explode as he was about to stop the thing from exploding.
Right. I'm wondering if when I saw it, I think I might have had the impression all those seasons ago that, oh, Dokes might be back one day. But if he was back, why hasn't he showed his face by now? I mean, you know, what is he letting Dexter, you know, why wouldn't he show up by now? Maybe he was scared shitless of Dexter.
I don't see him being scared shitless of Dexter. I do see him maybe hiding in the shadows, recuperating from being exploded. What's that?
4 years? I mean, Harrison's pretty old.
Could have been in a coma.
True. Maybe that girl's still alive too. Well, no, he did her another way, right?
Yeah. He ended up going to England to kill her.
Right.
But my thought is that he isn't alive, but he left a video with his suspicions, and that's what we see in the preview. That's my guess.
It better be the foulest video in existence.
Well, we know it has the word "surprise motherfucker" in it. But do you think he's going to reveal new info? Do you think he's going to have the thing that gets Dexter arrested?
I think it's going to be something. It has to be. I mean, unless they are throwing a fish at us and it's actually like Deborah. Let's say it actually turned out to be Deborah did do poison herself, and then like Dexter gets so mad he chokes her out or something, and he's arrested on a domestic violence. I mean, something's got to come out, and it's called surprise, motherfucker. So I think I'd say about a 95% odds that it's definitely Dokes had some sort of information that brings LaGuerta to her triumphant results.
Because that is a question. Is while LaGuerta is convinced that Dexter is the murderer, she still doesn't have proof that it's true. She doesn't.
And has killers out there now knowing about him now. Oh, it could be that.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to mention that is Hector Estrada is still out there. He jumped in the water. I'm kind of surprised Dexter didn't jump in the water after him.
Yeah, that I was curious about that. Maybe there's a water fight going on in the middle of all this.
Because I mean, he could have jumped in the water right after him, stabbed him once, and then started swimming for shore.
It's true.
And then Hector stabbed him once in the throat or something like that, and that way Hector Estrada couldn't talk later. Because you'll remember, I forgot the guy's name, but the other killer, the other guy that Dexter killed from that same group, who's played by the same guy who plays Geppetto on Once Upon a Time. That's how I know the guy now. The one with like hardly any hair and he's got pop marks all over his face.
It's not. Oh wait, not Danny Trejo, right? You say pockmarks.
No. But he had the bar, and Dexter ended up hunting him. And when he went to hunt him, the guy, when he realized what was going on, ended up going after Dexter instead. And I'm wondering whether Hector Estrada is going to go after Dexter.
Oh, I think so. In one way or the other, he can't be gone. He's coming back for revenge.
Now, okay. Now I've got one more wild theory, one more out there story. But first, I got to ask you: do you have any more wild speculations, anything like that?
I guess yeah. I can say one last thing. I'm going to ask you a question about what you expect, like what you hope. Were you hoping all along, like I was, that eventually Dexter's going to become public knowledge? And, you know, I'll leave it to my second part, but were you ever hoping for Dexter to get busted and become sort of natural-born killer status?
Oh, you mean like Boondock style? Boondock Saints?
Yeah, sort of like that.
Where people are like, yeah! No, I really wasn't hoping for that just because of the fact that I've seen it before.
So you want him to get away in the night, in the end of the day?
Yeah, I want him to get away and probably move to another city.
Yeah, I guess because he does have the kids, that would be the happier ending. But my wild speculation is that that does happen to him, and next year is just because he's so angry now. Hannah killed the Dark Passenger, and now it's just Dexter in control, and Dexter's a little unhinged because let's be honest, he's been a killer for his entire life, and now he's out there and he's doing stuff inspired by people like Tom Hanks' son? What was his name? The killer from last season, the religious killer.
Oh yeah,
who would do all those crazy deaths in the public eye.
I'm forgetting the character's name right now, but yeah.
All I can think of is Trinity Killer, because religion and Trinity.
But you're talking about the Doomsday Killer.
Doomsday Killer, yes.
I'm trying to remember the character's name, and it's not coming to me right now. I fail at my Dexter trivia right now.
You know what I mean?
So. here is the wild speculation that I have. Now, this is not my current theory because of the fact that I've already explained my current theory, which is Hannah dies, Deborah may or may not die. If Deborah dies, then she becomes the new, basically becomes the new Ghost, and that Dexter is on the run for all of next season. Here is a competing theory: is that Dexter is on the run for all of next season. However, it's Deborah that is actually chasing after him. He finds out that Deborah poisoned herself, and it puts the two of them at odds. And,
I'm in 100% agreement with that theory. That's the one that's where I absolutely think it's going.
You think that's what it's going to be? It's going to be Deborah versus Dexter?
To me, I see no doubt in that. Exactly what you just said. Every word that you said is exactly what I predict to happen as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. we will definitely see, because of the fact that we've got Deborah absolutely positively knows that Dexter is a killer. There's no doubt in her mind, obviously, because they've talked about it in depth. So, but the reason it's not my current theory is because of the fact that she's just known too long, and she's been too complicit.
Yeah, but she's dealing with that love, and especially if she did herself. I mean, she's going so far. She said she'll do anything to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's protecting him from himself, perhaps.
That's true. Is what if someone is out there trying to capture him, dead or alive? What if Deborah wants to capture him alive?
I don't know. It's a hard one. You know, that's what does make that theory a little hard. Like, does she want to put him in jail, or does she just want to put him down?
No, that's just it. Is Deborah would want to put him in jail, but there might be someone who wants to put him down. Hannah
said you should have killed me when she got sent to jail, and that could be like a precursor to Dexter.
That was a threat to me. Yeah. Something we didn't talk about, and I just thought of it, is do we think LaGuerta is going to survive this next episode? Because of the fact that we know from the preview that that Dexter is considering killing LaGuerta.
Well, I hate to bring up the books, but that's how it went in the books, no?
I don't remember. I haven't. The last book I haven't read for like 2 years.
I stopped when they went to the whole demons and stuff, but. I could have been good. I don't know. It didn't interest me. The writing was fragmented and such. But I
remember the most recent one was pretty good.
Yeah. What's that one called? I'll Wikipedia it.
I don't. Yeah. I do remember how it ends though, and I won't give that away, obviously. But
I guess LaGuerta's got to die. She has to die, or Dexter's toast.
Unless he's being chased after. I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool if Dokes is alive, Deborah's chasing after Dexter, Dokes is chasing after Dexter, and Deborah's chasing after Dexter to make sure that he gets in jail. And Dokes doesn't give a rat's ass. And Dokes is ready to kill the guy. And
Quinn is sitting at Angel's restaurant with no storyline for either.
That would be awesome. That would be incredible.
I need an ending for Angel. I like Angel. He was always... They really underused him the last few seasons, I think.
Yeah, they really have.
They could have done a lot with him. I mean, they could have just done a lot. I think, in the end of the day, I think he'd be on Team Dexter, by the way. Angel?
You think so?
I think so. I think if given the chance, he would be a man on the inside. I mean, look what he's doing for Quinn in lesser ways, which kind of says negatively about his character. But Angel just seems like a good guy and seems like he
What
he would be there.
What if Batista does show up next season to help out Dexter?
I'd be in heaven.
What's that?
I'd be in heaven. Only more so if you brought back Mos Def and had him, supplying Dexter with gadgets from the sidelines.
I really liked his character. I really liked Mos Def in the show last season. That was probably my favorite part of last season. Was his character.
And super wild speculation is when I was watching it, I had an idea. I wish there was like an alternate graphic novel of Dexter having gone public at that point, being caught, and then him and brother. What was his brother? What doesn't matter.
Brother Sam.
Brother Sam. All right, him and Brother Sam are just, in the alleys and, with the rats and the grime and a real dark comic. I thought that would have made a really good storyline. Very sad when he died.
Now, is that your theory of how the whole series ends? Is that Dexter becomes public and that it becomes a thing?
That's my hope. My theory is not that. My theory is that this was a fish. He's not actually busted for this, or if he is, he's going to get away with it, but it's going to be him versus Dexter. And I'm still hanging on to my theory that some sort of non-platonic, non-family relationship is going to occur between the two of them. Otherwise, that was a lot of wasted exposition, if that's the word.
Oh, that is true. Is there are a lot of hanging threads in Dexter. A lot of things where for example, Quinn's storyline this season had no purpose, none whatsoever. They could have taken Quinn out of the entire season, put him in the back like they did Masuka, and no one would have noticed.
That's another wasted character, in my opinion, Masuka. Also on Team Dexter, I think.
So, but yeah, I can see Batista and if Dexter is actually walked through homicide, and Batista sees it, and Masuka sees it, and Quinn sees it, I think that there would be some converts. I really do. I think Batista would be like, okay, I see what you're doing here.
Yeah, Dexter's like family to him. I mean, that's like It's his sister's family. I mean, it's his family.
And yeah, it's kind of crazy. But we're at 32 minutes about, and unless you have something else, I think we can wrap things up.
I got nothing but screaming children.
Good timing then. I'm Matt Moore. This was Todd Grundle. This has been Dexter, episode 711, which do you see what I see? I forgot the name of it. You can check us out on geeksoftheround.com. Or, of course, we now have the Google Plus Geeks of the Round community. And, of course, you can also circle us on G+. And check us out next week when we check out episode 712, the final episode of the season. It looks like we're probably going to have Maria Quibbin in next week. We'll have Deano. We'll have David. We might have Todd. Are we going to have Todd?
I don't think I can miss an episode like that, sir.
Okay, there we go. So we got a nice little group going on, and check us out. And peace.